In a recent interview, Bungie devs Robert Brookes and Nikko talked about the future of Destiny and the VEX. I think once the final shape concludes, the VEX might be in a position to do some more stuff. Now, the VEX have always been interesting, and just last week we got a big objective for them as a whole, learning how to simulate paracausality in subjects like the Guardians. If they managed to do that, things would not be good. Welcome Guardians, today we discuss what the Veil is from that dialogue, the VEX interest in it, and the next saga of Destiny. Let's kick this off with the description of what the Veil is. Throughout Season of the Deep, if you return to Veil Containment after the initial quest, you'd get some more dialogue from the Ishtar team, specifically Chioma Essie. We learned Maya Sundaresh was trying to hook up her scientists' minds to the Veil. At first this failed and everyone began to die, but in last week's entry we learned this eventually succeeded in connecting their minds to the Veil. Chioma also says what they believe the Veil to be, a web of consciousness, like the VEX network but organic instead of artificial. She theorizes that this is why the VEX are interested in the Veil and their experiments to simulate paracausality, something they can't currently do. Take a listen.
Chioma Essie, research log, the Veil. She did it. Maya connected people to the Veil. Our own scientists. And they survived. I should be happy, but... happy that all this horror wasn't for nothing? But I'm not. I'm disgusted. In myself, in Maya, in all of us. This thing, the Veil, it's some kind of web of consciousness. Just like the VEX network, but organic instead of artificial. It makes sense why the VEX want it. Paracausal simulations. There'd be no stopping them. I should be happy to be a part of history, to solve a cosmic riddle. Happy for Maya, happy for all of us. But I'm not. I don't feel anything. Maya is gone. The woman I knew may as well have died when we landed on Neptune. But her ghost still haunts me. This place. I don't know what to do. There's a generation of children born here now. This is their home. I don't know what to do.
Damn. Osiris, this is... I don't know if I want to listen to this anymore.
Obsession is a beast with long, sharp talons. A beast that does not so easily release its prey. Maya Sundaresh is but one victim.
That sounds like you're talking from experience.
Painfully so. But unlike Dr. Sundaresh, I found a way out of the beast's grasp before it was too late.
How?
By losing.
Before we continue with the VEX, it's nice to have sort of a straight-up answer. It comes nearly 2 months late in the form of a random audio log some people may miss and not a mission, but hey, we still get it nonetheless. The Veil is said to be an organic web of consciousness, like the VEX network. Did the VEX create their own network to try and replicate this?
Did you send them into a VEX simulation?
The path before them is no illusion. The Guardian ventures through the VEX domain itself, where the machines guard their most precious secrets.
The VEXnet uses similar gateways as the Cloud Arc, which means they could infiltrate the network and gain access to the Veil. Hey, Guardian, I'm not sure if this is because of the taking, but I'm starting to get a lot of weird claims from Cloud Arc citizens. Screams, weird voices, nightmares, you name it. The Cloud Arc is built on the energy field produced by the Veil. Resilient, but not impenetrable. A backdoor wouldn't be impossible.
Now this web of consciousness makes sense when you try and fit the puzzle pieces together. The veil stores memory and the traveler creates physically. They come together to create or open a portal to a place with both. A lot to be discussed and theorized, but that's the basis of what the veil is. The traveler and the veil do have connections, two halves of a whole long divided as told. Both somehow interact with consciousness, the ghost being able to bring back dead humans as guardians, and then pulling that stored data when they die as guardians to bring them back once more, reviving them. Ghosts are their own mystery, but you get the idea that connections are there. In terms of Neptune, this explains a lot though. Neomuna was powered by the Veil and also the Cloud Arc. Citizens would go into hibernation or a sort of cryosleep physically, while their minds would allow them to exist in the Cloud Arc safely. In those hologram forms we see around the city, the Veil was used to achieve this.
The VEX had retroactively inserted themselves into Neptune's history, just like they did on Venus. But unlike Venus, something stopped them short of our habitat. They had to fight their way in. I think it's the Veil. Something about the paracausal nature of the Veil is preventing their temporal excursions. But the VEX aren't giving up.
The creation of exos is also another big one. In these logs, we hear how Ishtar failed the first couple of times, but eventually Lakshmi was born from various dead exos, a bunch of dead exos combined, and Maya's consciousness copied to create Lakshmi. You have that along with all the other Neomuni minds existing together in the Cloud Arc. Now let's get back to the VEX though. They want to simulate paracausality, something they can't do. If the VEX were able to simulate Guardians this whole time, things would go completely sideways and they would easily win. During the Avalon quest and exploration of the VEX network chasing Asher around, we learned he was able to achieve this himself though inside the VEX network.
Lose yourself in the answers beyond. Ashermere will be no more. It responds to my warning and calls me an anatomical region. It says, Ashermere will not become the truth. The truth will become Ashermere. And it is gone. Vanished into the network. I no longer feel its presence. May the light guide you on your journey, brave one. It was an honor to know you. What is this? Ashermere's research confirmed the existence of this fantastic object. As the pyramids examined the VEX in turn observed the pyramids. And Ashermere studied both. But the paracausal cannot be predicted. Did Ashermere perform these simulations manually? For one mortal intelligence to create this would be impossible. This is why Ashermere merged with the VEX. This study demanded its sacrifice. Everything. We must not forget what we have been shown.
Asher's status is currently unknown. He would merge into the network to study further. It's theorized that he may return in Io in a coming season given Lightfall's root cinematic with the other darkness-infested planets, but we aren't sure. These plot threads though could be explored further, the VEX, paracausality, and Asher in one of those seasons. In a recent Shack News article and video, Bungie devs Robert Brookes and Nikko spoke about the VEX. We're trying to bring the VEX in a little bit more of a personalized way right now, and in a way that connects the Witness's story via the Soul Divisive, Stevens explained. These were the VEX that went all the way back to Destiny 1 with the Black Heart. They've kind of been expanded through piecemeal drops here and there up until Spire of the Watcher, which was really a big insight into the Soul Divisive and how closely aligned they actually are with the Witness. I think once the final shape concludes, the VEX might be in a position to do some more stuff. So there's our confirmation right there. They may dive into the VEX in the next saga. Of course, the sole divisive are the VEX centered around the Black Guard and the Black Heart and worshipping all that darkness. There are other groups of VEX looking for different things, but that's what the sole divisive was all about, and they were kind of partnered with the Witness.
Looks like the Taken have all cleared out. Why aren't they fighting us for the memory core?
I'm sure they were merely told to destroy the Black Heart's architect. I doubt they were aware its knowledge is the true threat.
You really think this blueprint will help us with the Veil? After all, if the Black Heart was meant to be a copy of the Veil, it didn't exactly succeed.
True. But even studying the failed attempt can lead to useful information.
The VEX lore build-up this season has been great and explains their interest in the Omuna and the Veil. Either the VEX figure this out and are a big part of the final shape, or they hold off and start the story in a new saga. Maybe they do figure out how to simulate that paracausality. We know the Witness at this point seems to be the main focus of the final shape. So if the VEX were thrown into that mix overall, it might confuse some people unless it's just the sole divisive, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. Back during Season of Opulence, Callus told us that the VEX we see are not combat units, just workers and construction bots basically. I think Wyverns, which were introduced later on, might be combat units themselves, but don't quote me on that for sure. The point is, the VEX can get much more scarier and difficult if they achieve these simulations. I thought I'd also throw this in here as well regarding the next saga. We don't know what's going to happen with the universe overall. Does the universe get rewritten thanks to the Witness or maybe our Guardian and start over at some point? Will we see the same characters we currently have or completely new ones? We aren't sure. Drifter did bring up the 9 in a terminal entry this season. The 9, like the VEX, have been just kind of floating in the background waiting for things to play out. They could also be a focus in the next saga.
You never did tell me why you trust the 9 so much.
Oh, I don't. Not even a little. I trust Orin.
Orin?
Long story. The short of it is, I may have had a feeling or two for somebody a long time ago. Somebody that lost themselves along the way. But there's a little piece of her still out there. A sliver. Who still has a feeling or two for the somebody I could be. So I trust her. Because she ain't never steered me wrong, no matter how rotten I was. Because at the end of the day, maybe we gotta put our faith in something other than ourselves, even if we're too stubborn to admit it.
I didn't expect you to put a lot of stock in faith.
And I didn't expect you to lose yours and keep moving. Guess we're all full of surprises, ain't we?
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're being genuine.
Oh, I'm always genuine. People just ain't always paying attention. For real, though, Moondust might have given me a push. Thought it'd help.
Anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. A broad explanation of what the Veil is, this web of consciousness, kind of like the VEX network, but organic. The VEX are super interested in this. They have been since the Ishtar team first found the Veil back on Neptune, and still currently during the events of Lightfall when we fight them on the planet ourselves. The VEX want to learn this secret of how to simulate paracausality, and characters like Asher may have figured out how to do so, a character we may see in the next couple of seasons. If you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like this video though, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching and I'll catch you all in the next video.